My fan base, it did reach a peak like several years ago where I go, my fans are all gonna die off, They're getting so damn old. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, now my major demographics are between like 16 and 24.
What about like men, women, gays, straight?
Mostly women.
Yeah.
And of course they have a huge gay following.
Sure. Why is that?
Because I think Elvira's a drag queen, essentially.
Yeah. Right.
People say you're like a drag queen. I go, I am a drag queen. What's the difference? The only difference is I don't tuck.
I'm Elijah Wood.
And I'm Daniel Noah.
Cassandra Peterson is not a household name, but that's because she's the secret identity of a modern superhero, or should we say, superheroine, who changed the landscape for women in show business and beyond.
A horror hostess and a movie star who inspired action figures, dolls, trading cards, model kits, calendars, comic books, a video game, 2 pinball machines, and a line of perfume. She did it all in a jet black wig and a slinky gown that inspired girls and awakened boys all across America. That's right, we're talking about Elvira.
Cassandra Peterson was a small-town girl whose ambitions were too outsized for the tiny community where she was raised. Inspired in equal parts by the larger-than-life moxie of Anne Margaret and the deliciously macabre films of Vincent Price, she ran away to Vegas to become a showgirl at the age of 17.
After a brief stint in Italy, where she made her film debut in Fellini's Roma, yes, you heard that right, she soon found herself in Los Angeles' famous improvisational comedy theater, The Groundlings, where she began to find her voice as a comedy performer. When a spot opened up for a hostess of a late-night horror show called Movie Macabre, Cassandra landed the role with a cheeky, sexy mistress of the dark called Elvira. And the rest is history.
We met with Cassandra over 2 days in Los Angeles. First, in the private esoteric library of the Philosophical Research Society in Los Feliz, and then in the home where she stays in the Hollywood Hills. Cassandra is a vibrant, warm, eternally youthful woman who takes great pride in having inspired young women everywhere to lean into their power and take control of their lives and careers.
We loved hanging out with Cassandra, who at 72 has still got that Anne Margaret moxie in spades. And by the end of our time together, she felt like a friend we'd known for years. We hope you'll catch a little of her wonderful spirit in this episode. And remember, if you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen so you never miss an episode.
This is Visitations
With Elijah Wood
and Daniel Noah. And now, Cassandra Peterson.
I'm also curious, she's created something that is so iconic and lasting, and it's obviously she was a horror film host, right? So it's in service of horror and celebration of horror in this really fun, campy way. And I'm curious how much of that was interesting to her. Was she a fan of horror? The degree to which she sort of owned that character would sort of insinuate that there would be some kind of love and passion for that world, you would have thought. Yeah, there's no way to answer that. What I just said was a full statement that just
I feel lightheaded.
leaves it up for just pick up that thread if you want.
Yeah.
There's nothing to really rip on.
I actually found myself not listening halfway through, and you're sitting next to me.
Wow. Oh, I feel eviscerated, but I also feel like I asked for it, Where are we going? I've actually never been to...
Yeah. We're going to the Philosophical Research Society. It was founded by a guy named Manly P. Hall, 30s maybe. He was an occultist, and he started this center. It is recently kind of had a renewal under the leadership of Dennis Bartok, who came over from American Cinematheque.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful Art Deco space. And they have a cult library, a library of rare occult books upstairs, which is where we're going to be meeting with Cassandra.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to see you. How are you?
Hi.
A long time. Welcome to my home. always wanted to come here so bad.
It's amazing.
I am like a big follower of this writer, Ernest Holmes. And this was one of the places where they had a collection of his books and everything. I think I've read them all. He's this a proponent of like, try to think of the title of like one of his books, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Yes.
And like kind of manifesting.
Sure.
Yes.
And I either blame or attribute to him my entire career and my life. I really do.
Oh, man.
So we've chosen the right place.
Well, we've got the library. It's just the three of us and the ghosts. So,
Is it haunted? This place?
I've never asked Dennis, but it sure feels haunted.
I lived in a super haunted house very close to here at Los
Really?
Feliz. Yeah, and I'm not kidding when I say I never had any haunted, weird experiences in my whole life before. Never since. But I had this old 1901 Craftsman house up in the Hollywood Hills, which I sold to Brad Pitt.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So many freaky haunted things went on there.
Like what?
Well, like, okay, first of all, 5 people had died in the house.
5 people died
Yeah,
on
in the house.
premises?
Yes, on the premises, in the house.
Over a span
Over
of
a period
years.
of from 1901, the guy who built it, and the first owner, his wife apparently found in a compromising position with another guy, and he chased him down to the corner of Bronson and Franklin, and they found him dead. But the guy was never prosecuted, even though the guy had been shot.
What was the name of the author that you mentioned again?
Ernest Holmes.
Ernest
Thank you.
Holmes,
Thank
yeah.
you. Ernest
and
Holmes.
and so the whole thesis there is the idea of like manifesting intention. Is that
Manifesting, it's like the power of your subconscious mind, that if you think something hard enough, if you concentrate on it, if you keep it in your mind, write it down, think about it, eventually it will happen. And that's both good and bad. I mean, good things and bad things. I mean, if people are constantly thinking, oh, I'm so afraid of getting cancer or whatever, I don't know.
You can manifest
You can manifest that too. I mean, I truly believe it because I feel like
Me too.
I kind of manifested everything that happened in my life.
Yeah, so can you talk about that?
Well, here's the first good manifestation that happened to me. When I was, I think 13, I saw the movie Viva Las Vegas with Elvis Presley and Anne Margaret.
Sure.
And I was obsessed. I mean, I watched it a million times. I dreamed about it. I talked about it. And I decided I wanted to be Anne Margaret. And even though there was already an Anne Margaret, as I said, I want to be Anne Margaret and be a Las Vegas dancer, And I'm a 13-year-old girl in Colorado Springs,
Is that where you grew
up? Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, so I became obsessed with that movie. And I was in love with Elvis. I wanted to be a showgirl. And just thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. So, cut to, I'm 17 years old. I'm with my mom and dad on a trip to California, and they stop in Vegas, which I'm like, oh my God, please let me go see a show with you, please. And they go, you're not old enough. And I said, don't worry, I have a fake ID. Of course I did. And I said, I just want to go see one of the big showgirl shows, please. So talked my parents into taking me, and I dressed up really like, so I'd look older. But, I stuffed my bra and I put on a little wig and eyelashes and everything, looking really fancy pants. And went to see the show. And the maitre d' comes over and says, oh, are you a showgirl here in Vegas? And I said, no. I thought, oh my God, they're going to find out.
It worked too well, you're playing.
And he said, oh, you're not? He said, they're having auditions tomorrow for this show. And I was like, oh, that's great. Go away. I'm drinking champagne, of course, with my parents. And 2 minutes later, this woman comes out, and she's the dance captain, and she said, would you mind coming backstage? Do you know how to dance? And
your parents were with you at that moment? What were they saying?
They thought I was being kidnapped into, like white slavery thing. I mean, they were like very, very, like, this is BS.
Yeah.
This can't be happening.
Yeah.
So I go backstage. They say, can you dance? I said, yes, I'm a dancer. I mean, I took dance lessons all my life, and I was a go-go dancer. And so they put on a record, I danced, and they go, well, can you stay here tomorrow and meet with our producer? And we were leaving the first thing in the morning. So I said, my parents will never let me stay. And so the producer came out, he met with my parents. Next thing, they hired me. Then my parents wouldn't sign the contract because I was 17.
Right.
But they said, this is like Vegas in the 60s, okay. Well, if your parents just sign off on you, you can dance naked and talk, in a show in Vegas,
Yeah.
I mean, you had on a little G-string and lots of feathers, but that was about it. And so I get the job. I made my parents' life a living hell for the next 3 months until rehearsals started. So I did get the job. I moved to Vegas. I met Anne Margaret.
You
I
met
ended up
Anne
with
Margaret?
Oh yeah, I actually started going out with her ex-boyfriend, and then met Elvis.
Oh, man.
And Elvis completely changed my life because he told me that I should get out of Vegas, that I shouldn't, that there was no place for a young girl, and that I should. We had this whole evening together where he mainly just talked to me about, get the hell out of town. You gotta. I said, what am I gonna do? And he said, what do you like to do? Sing, dance, whatever. Just get out of here. You can't be 17 and hanging around Vegas. With good advice, right?
Amazing advice.
Yeah. But the whole movie, Viva, and my show, as I said, my show was called Viva La Girls. Oh, I didn't say that. So the movie Viva Las Vegas, then I was suddenly just living my entire dream, and I didn't do anything to accomplish it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It just happened.
It just happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, I was the youngest showgirl in Las Vegas at the time. And I said, if it wasn't for Elvis Presley, I would now be the oldest showgirl in Las Vegas. I would have never left. And I said,
Because that's the thing, they're all lifers there. People that go there and that becomes their life.
it becomes their life. They end up, showgirls, most of the showgirls that I know, all end up finally like dealing blackjack or hookers or all kinds of things, because you can't be a showgirl forever.
No.
In fact, 30 is about the cutoff point.
Right.
So yeah, it's not really a healthy place to live.
Wait, so what years were you there?
I got there 69, so
Did
69,
you
70,
ever
and
cross
left in
paths
71.
with the Rat Pack? and
Oh
all?
yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, all of them. Well, just Dean Martin, not Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr. and Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
Cassandra. What the
Sammy.
fuck?
What were your parents' vocations when you were growing up?
My dad was an insurance salesman, and my mom ran a costume shop.
Really?
Yes, in which I dressed up every day of my life. I was dressed in a costume to go to school. I was really a weirdo.
Is that where you got the taste?
I think it is. I just kind of thought, I wear a costume every day of my life.
And who were you, like socially, who were you in school as a kid?
Loser, nerd, geek.
Yeah.
Nobody liked me. I mean, or I perceived that they didn't.
Right.
I didn't have a lot of friends. My other friends were really geeky. I was super into horror when nobody was into horror. Not guys, not girls.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in you dressing up in costumes and going to school and feeling like a loser.
Yeah.
So what did the costumes do for that feeling?
They were, I don't know. So my mom and my aunt made all these costumes, and every Halloween they would make me my favorite TV show costume,
Oh,
And
fun.
First it was like Ginger from Gilligan's Island. And oh my God, what were all the costumes? I dream of Jeannie. And they would make these costumes for me, and I'd kind of be their little model, I guess, So I would always have the coolest costume because everybody else had those packaged costumes.
Yes.
I don't know, you guys aren't old enough to remember that, but
Oh, no, of
they're
course we
the
do.
little plastic ones that are all
with
folded up
the
in there.
picture
The
of
plastic
the
mask.
character and the...
Yeah, Dom Post.
Yeah.
And-
All the like rubber masks.
Yes.
I remember those because my mom sold them in her store.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was called Peterson's Partyland in
No
Colorado
way.
Springs.
Cool. Wow.
So anyway, I was just surrounded by costumes and Halloween crap, and that was our big season of the year, Halloween. So me and my sisters would be helping my mom stuff devil tails and make bat wings and all this crap.
Yeah.
And so I was just immersed in that. And then, I don't know, my cousin took me to my first horror movie, House on Haunted Hill, with Vincent Price when I was about second or third grade. And I just became obsessed with horror movies. And nobody else, it just wasn't a thing then,
What was it about them?
I don't know. I hated them and I loved them at the same time. I just, maybe the excitement, it's I mean, other movies, my parents would take me to see these really boring movies that I didn't understand or anything.
Right.
This was so exciting, oh my God. And I just became fascinated by it and then started buying like little horror fanzines and magazines that were out there, like Famous Monsters. And
Yeah.
then in the back, there'd be model kits from Aurora that I could buy of Dracula and Frankenstein and paint them myself, you know.
That's
and,
so cool.
yeah, honestly, I always said my sisters were playing with Barbie and I was painting, you know, the werewolf, you know.
Wow.
So it was really bizarre.
So it really is like a part of your DNA.
It is,
Long
it is.
before you invented the character of
Way
Elvira.
before. People don't believe. I don't think anybody that wasn't really into horror could have done the job of Elvira, because I had to watch all those movies to write this stuff, you know, with my
Yes.
partner, John Paragon. I mean,
Right.
I had to watch thousands of movies, you know, and come up with it. So anybody who didn't really appreciate horror wouldn't have been able to do it, I don't
Yeah,
think.
that makes sense.
So
But
it
it's
was
funny
just
'cause
a nice, perfect storm.
The characters or the women that you were dressing up as, you weren't trying to hide. These were very big personalities.
Oh yeah, and
beautiful,
sexy.
sexy
I don't know.
women.
I was
yeah.
like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
be sexy.
Yeah. So when did you have your first romantic, like your first crush, or the first time you dated
God.
someone?
Well, the
Did it
first
work,
crush
is
and
what I'm
everything
asking.
was when the Beatles came out.
Oh.
And then it switched everything. It changed everything. Horror kind of went into the closet, and I just became a Beatles freak.
Yeah.
And you know, I was madly in love. First, I was in love with Paul, then Ringo, then George. Then finally, I settled on John and stayed there forever. And I became like a total nut, and then became somewhat of a groupie after that. Started chasing bands all around the country.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, man! I was like,
What bands?
Oh, everybody. Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Cool.
I went on their bus and got in in a trunk. And they ended up taking me to
Like you
Denver.
stowed
They
away?
didn't know I stowed away
No
in a
way.
trunk.
How old were you?
Then I was probably 14.
I was gonna say it's before Vegas, so oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my god.
the Yardbirds. I had a little experience with Jimmy Page, who of course went on to form
Yes.
Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
But then he was in the Yardbirds.
Yes.
Jimi Hendrix. Spent a whole.
Sorry,
I'm a
I
fan.
can't not ask you about your experience with Jimmy Page.
Oh yeah, I was really young.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was by then 14, and went to see the Yardbirds.
Yeah.
We looked all over town, like went from hotel to hotel to find where they were staying. But there was only 2 hotels, so you know, literally. So we went to, and then we went. My girlfriend Kathy and I went up and down every floor, listening at the door of every door, and
That's-
finally we heard rock music inside one room.
That's amazing.
So we knock on the door. It's Keith Relf, the lead singer of the Yardbirds. He's like, "Oh, birds, come on in," you know, and we go in, and then Jimmy Page shows up all of a sudden, grabs me by the hand, pulls me down the hall, takes me in this room, and it was the first time I saw a penis. Don't tell anybody.
Only our
Okay,
listeners.
yeah. Yeah, and it was, I didn't do anything. I ran out. I was a virgin. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah. Wow.
But it was awesome making out with Jimmy Page and everything. It was, you know.
man. Was that your-
I have a picture of him.
That wasn't your first kiss, was it?
I had that one kiss by a boy
Yeah.
in junior high, like in 7th grade. His name was Kenny. It was really gross. I remember he put his tongue in my mouth.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
But
That's so
I did not
funny.
like it. And then, but when it was Jimmy Page, that made a whole, you know, that was a whole different beast.
Sure.
So you were just ready to rocket out of that
I
life
was,
right away.
man.
Yeah,
I
nothing was
was.
going to stop you. Yeah.
And I split. I moved out from my parents when I was 14.
What?
I lived on my own. Yeah.
Were you formally emancipated, or you just?
Nope. You didn't
Wow.
have to be then. You just
Right,
left.
you just
I was a
left.
go-go dancer. I just drove
And how
around the
were your
United
parents
States
with that?
go-go dancing.
And you.
They were not happy, but you know, but they couldn't control me.
Yeah.
I was really wild.
How many siblings do you have?
I had 2 sisters. They both passed away younger.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm
How much
the
younger?
oldest
Passed
one.
away.
Yeah,
Oh, Jesus.
I know. I raised one of their
Oh,
children.
my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they were sad. They were drug addicts,
I'm sorry.
alcoholic and drug addicts. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Were you
Yeah.
close growing up? And how different from you were they? It's just, family dynamics in
Very
terms of.
different. Yeah. We were not close. We were
Interesting.
not close. I was over there being a geek, And they were like more like, Barbie, la la la.
So you were the kind of black sheep of the family.
Yeah. And you know, it's the 60s, so we all did drugs. I did my share of drugs, let me tell you. But I don't know. I don't know if it's I didn't have an addictive personality or what the difference was, but they never kind of got over it.
Yeah.
They just very early on got into lots of drugs and alcohol and crazy stuff, you know. They had moments of sobriety, like not moments, but months, even a couple of years, and then just kind of went back into it.
Wow.
I don't know, pretty odd. Three daughters and two of them, you know.
Isn't it interesting too that I don't know if what correlation there is, but it sounds like they were relatively traditional in terms of their like who they were as human beings.
They were,
the
you know,
things that they were interested in, the
Yeah.
kind of the path that they were on, and you were on this really wild path. And
I've begun the more calm one, you know. I don't know.
How interesting, isn't it?
I always think about that. I think it seemed like they didn't have curiosity. I try to analyze what the difference was. They didn't want to do things. Like I had a horse and I went riding all the time, every day when I was a kid.
Oh, cool.
They weren't interested in horses. They weren't interested. I had all kinds of crazy pets and they weren't interested in that. And they stayed in town. They never left, you know. Small town. I mean, Colorado Springs is a relatively small city, and they just
that
didn't
tiny,
really
that
want to do
tiny
anything.
worldview can be crushing too in a weird kind of
Yeah.
way, you know.
I always say to people, get the hell out of where you grew up. I mean, I had to go back later if you want, but you gotta expand your horizons, you know?
Oh, I think it's essential.
How did they feel about your choices?
Jealous. I think they were just jealous and angry, mostly.
How did that manifest?
Well, it was horrible. It was hard dealing with them. I think, neither of them had much money. Their lives weren't going great. And they were very angry at me for kind of being successful and having money and getting away. But I don't know. So
how did that come out? Like, how do you know that's how they felt?
From a lot of phone calls of them, like mostly wanting money.
Right.
I paid for so many rehabs. I'll tell you, I paid and paid for. I tried to help them both at so many times with rehabs and with therapists and with, please do this money just to pay their bills. And my parents also tried to, help them with money. And it was just that old case of enabling somebody, give them money. I mean, I begged after my dad passed away. I begged my mom not to give my sisters money.
Right.
But they didn't get it. They were always slipping them money, and then
It's
they
such
could
a
just
tough
buy drugs
relationship
with it.
For a parent though,
It's horrible.
It's so hard because your instinct is, well, I have to take care.
Yeah.
And I can't let them fall in their face, but in some ways you are enabling. It's a tricky.
Yeah, no, it's very tricky.
so hard.
Believe me, I have a
Yeah.
child. I get it. And thankfully, has none of those issues. But I couldn't imagine if your child was struggling and begging for help, and
of course.
you couldn't give them money.
Right.
So
I'm happy with giving my child money because I know, they're responsible.
It's not going to rehab, So you raised your niece?
After my one sister died.
Wow. How old
I'm
was...
going with her tonight to the.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, my two nieces. One from
They
my
live here?
one sister. Yeah, that one lives. They both live really close to here.
Amazing.
And I'm picking them both up. One is 39 and one is 31.
And how old were they
One
when...
was from one sister and one's from the other sister.
How old were they when they came to you?
Well, my niece, who's almost 40, she came to me when she was 13. So I just raised her from 13 to 18.
Right.
And the other one stayed with her dad.
Her dad.
Right.
Yeah. But she just moved out here. She's looking for, gonna look for acting work.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so
She's
cool.
An adorable girl. So I'm like.
It takes after her
okay.
aunt.
Maybe, we'll see. I hope not too much. Yeah.
Where did you raise a family?
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Oh yeah, right.
So after Vegas,
down the
when you left Vegas, you came here.
No.
Oh, okay.
I went from Vegas, I moved to Italy because I had gone to Italy when I was about 16. I saved up all my go-go dancing money and took a trip to Italy with my class at school. It was so bizarre.
Yeah.
Supposedly studying like art.
Art history or something. Yeah, right.
I don't remember seeing any art. I was seeing all the guys there. And went over there. So ever since I had been in Europe, I was like, oh my God, I got to get back there. I got to get back there.
Yeah.
So the minute I left Vegas, I had my money saved up and I moved back to Italy. First to France, where I was supposed to work in the Lido show on Champs-Élysées.
Yeah.
And I was 1 inch too short to get in the show.
No
yeah,
way.
Yeah. And,
Height requirement.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
They had weight requirements, height requirements,
Jeez,
everything. Oh, when I was a Vegas showgirl, you had to weigh in every week. And if you got to 5 pounds over, you were put on like detention. You had these little, that's one of the things I auctioned in that auction is a little thing saying, if you don't lose 5 pounds within the next month, you're fired. Yeah, they'll give you little tickets.
Yikes.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
nice, right? I know, right?
so fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's great for one's body image and sense of self.
Yeah,
Jesus
I know.
Christ.
Yeah.
And I was 17, and so, what did I do? I took whites. That's what everybody did.
What's
All the
whites?
showgirls.
What's that?
Speed,
Right, right.
Yeah.
Sure.
so that you were never hungry, and,
Yeah.
you stayed up all
Which is
night.
what diet pills are predominantly
Sure.
were
Diet
at the time.
pills, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you seem like someone who turned the tables on that dynamic. Like you turned it into a power.
Yeah, I sort of feel like I did. I want to pat myself on the back, but hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I did go to Europe after that.
Yeah.
I met Fellini over there. I was in his movie.
You're in Roma, right?
Yeah. I mean,
that's incredible.
I'm on the screen like that.
You're still in Roma.
But I worked for 30 days. That was the important part, and I got paid. Hardly anything, but I got paid, and I was like, oh, thank God, because
Yeah. How
You
did
know.
you meet him?
it was unbelievable. I was with one of the other showgirls from Vegas who came over, Maria Gambotti, and she came over to just visit me in Rome. And we were walking down the street in the old area of Rome, which is Trastevere.
Right.
And we see all these lights and stuff, and we go, what the hell's going on? So we both walk over there. There is this guy we see who had made a student documentary of the showgirls in our show when we were in Vegas.
Oh, my God.
He'd interviewed all of us for this. He had to make a documentary at the end. He was in film school. So we had been in this documentary, and we see him, Stuart Birnbaum, oh my God. And we go running, and we go, what are you doing here? And he goes, I'm a student director with Federico Fellini. Would you like to meet him? And we're going, what? And we go over, we meet him, and Fellini kept saying, you look so much like my wife when she was young. You look
boy.
so much like her. And, but he didn't never come on weird, not weird. He just said, would you two like to be in the movie? And we go, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is with you? Elvis,
don't know.
Fellini?
You do.
I don't know.
You do have something that.
I told you, Ernest Holmes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Just manifest
Yeah.
stuff
That's
right out of your
amazing.
butt.
So while you were, you were sort of, you're in Vegas, you're in Italy, you're in Hollywood. Did you have your sights set on something?
Yeah. Great question.
I did. And here's a valuable lesson to everybody out there.
Please.
I had my sights set on being the center of attention.
Well, it sounds like you were accomplishing
I
it.
wanted to be in show business since I was a little tiny kid.
yeah.
Always wanted to be in show business, but I was like, maybe I'll be a dancer, maybe a singer. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I knew I wanted to be in show business. And I struggled along and, I still kept getting dancing and singing gigs here in LA. When I got here, I was mostly going out for musical stuff. And then, I started getting older, and a dancer is kind of done at
Right.
around 24,
Right.
25. I mean,
Yeah.
your career, I'd go on auditions and they'd say, you're a little long in the tooth for this job, And I
24.
couldn't keep up with 19-year-olds or
Right.
anything. So I decided I'm going to, maybe think about acting instead, but I didn't know how to act. So again, just one small problem. But I read this book by Ernest Holmes, which is so bizarre we're here. And
Feels meant to
one
be.
of the things he said to do is he said it, your life is like if you were on a boat and you were floating around in a giant lake, Lake Michigan, but you had no map and no compass. you would just float around forever in a circle. But he said, if you have a specific place you're going and you have a map and you have a compass, you will get there. And so he said, that's what you need to think of in your life. Pick something you want to do or be. Make it as specific as possible. Hone in on what it is. You know, because I was going maybe singing, maybe dancing, maybe. And I decided I want to be a comedian. People had always told me I was funny and stuff. Yeah. And I decided I'm not going to go out for dramatic acting parts anymore, which I was going out for anything I'd get in the audition. And that I'm only going to concentrate on doing comedy. End of story. I joined the Groundling Theater. Are you familiar with the Groundlings?
Sure. Yeah.
And you know, my cohorts were Phil Hartman and Paul Rubens, and John Paragon.
In your class?
In my class,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
No, I went to see them, and I'm going, I want to be them. You know, that's what I want. I remember I told Paul, and you guys aren't as familiar with John Paragon, I imagine, but he co-wrote my movie Mistress of the Dark, and he directed and wrote Pee-wee's Playhouse. But he had a couple shows on TV that were brilliant called Paragon of Comedy. He never got the fame that he should have because he was the funniest one of everybody, I think.
Wow.
But I saw John and Paul standing next to the door, and I was standing by the women's restroom, and I think a laser beam shot out my eyes, and I looked at them and I went, they're going to be my best friends. And eventually they were my best friends. I mean, my best friends till the day both of them died. Yeah. And Phil too. But we were like kind of like the four amigos. Yeah. We just hung out together, but I emulated them. They were like my muses. I copied them. I watched them. I wanted to be them, you know?
So were there comedians that you were looking at as like, that's the path that I want to be on? Or do you feel like the way that you were seeing it, there wasn't anyone who had walked that path?
When I was little, and I used to watch the Ed Sullivan Show all the time, I was madly in love with like Ann Mira from Stiller and Mira, Phyllis Diller, Toady Fields. There were very few female comedians, and generally, I always said, they're unattractive, or they made themselves look unattractive. Phyllis Diller was not an unattractive woman, but she had to come out in like the fright wig and the crazy dresses and stuff because there was just this unwritten law. You couldn't be funny and pretty. Right. You couldn't do it. Right. There were no good-looking female comedians.
Right. Or making themselves attractive as a part of their act.
Yeah.
Whatever. Right.
It just wasn't happening.
Right.
And so I thought, well, being a comedian is a long shot, you know? And I got kind of typecast in the role of the Groundlings of always being the sexy one. I was always a hooker or a showgirl or, you know, the bombshell thing. That was which was okay. It was my little niche, you know? Right. But I did have comedians growing up that I really, really loved watching. And I thought, God, what a brilliant thing. Oh, I love Lucy.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, I knew it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mostly it was I was looking at stand-up comedians.
Sure.
So, you know.
Yeah. Well, your career reminds me of hers in some ways. That like she
was tough.
She was a boss.
Yes, she sure was, man. She was running the place.
She was. I don't think that it is fully understood how powerful she was.
I don't think so.
I think that was part of her power. It was stealth.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. You know, people only look at her and go, "Oh, funny woman." Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. The chocolates. Yeah. So back to you at the Groundlings. You're getting sort of typecast in sketches as the bombshell or the prostitute. So what's going through your mind during this time?
I don't know. I was just happy to be around all these comedians, having
found
fun
your tribe
doing
almost.
it. I totally did, and there's still. It's some people have like a connection with their graduating high school class. I had no connection with anybody at school, but I have a major connection with all the Groundlings still. So I really felt like, wow, that was my home. I found my tribe, like as you said.
That's a big part of it. When you're entering into a phase of your life without a sense of where you belong, finding your tribe, finding
a group of people that you feel relaxed with.
They sort of help to define you. You feel like yourself amongst them. You have the similar creative, interests, and that often leads to something.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it was so bizarre that all of a sudden, like I guess around 1981, I got the part of Elvira, which I didn't think was this fantastic job. It was local TV.
I was going to say, was that an audition? Did you, like, how did that
Yeah, I
happen?
went on an audition. But the funny thing was, Paul just started his Pee Wee show at the Groundlings.
Yeah.
And it was like picking up steam. Phil got asked to go do this show, Saturday Night Live. I mean, Lorraine Newman had already gone. She came
Yeah, I
out
was
of the
thinking about
Groundlings.
her too, yeah.
And John got an HBO special called Paragon of Comedy. All of us just got famous, like at the same minute.
interesting.
It was weird. Like 1981, everything started happening for us four. So it caused us to have a really special camaraderie because we were like, members of it, there were a lot of Groundlings, but us four were just like things were happening. And so we were just all together, and we were each one of us was as freaked out as the other one. And so we had a lot in common, and so that even made our bond closer, I think.
Right.
So I don't know.
Elvira was a character that had been created by someone else that you auditioned for.
No, I went in. I was on my honeymoon, and I got a call from a good friend of mine that lives right down the street here, Donna Kaufman, she had worked on Pee Wee's Playhouse. So she calls me. She says, I have this friend who is looking for like a horror host. And I'm like, what is a horror host? I knew horror, but I didn't know there was such a thing as a horror host. Sure. And she goes, oh, well, you show movies and you talk about them. And he's really looking for somebody who is funny and sexy. And he saw you at the Groundlings, and he really, really thinks, you could do this part. And I'm like, Donna, that sounds awesome, but I'm on my honeymoon. I really don't want to come home right now to audition.
Yeah.
And she said, no, you need to. I didn't. 'Cause, whenever you're out of Hollywood, you always get the call from the audition of a lifetime. And so you cut your trip short, and then you get there and you don't get the part. So I was like, I'm not coming back. So a couple weeks passed, I went back. They were still looking for somebody. They were still auditioning people. Right. So I went in, auditioned, I got the part. Just dressed like a normal person, And then he said, well, now you've got to come up with a look and a name and, all that.
So you hadn't even come up with the persona?
No, I just went in like this. I was wearing a little turquoise dress and white sandals. Yeah, I did improv. I improvised. Yeah. They gave me a really sucky script from Vampira, like from the 50s, and it was so not funny. I mean, it was more like, come in, darling, drink a glass of blood,
Right.
That kind of thing. Yeah, and really, really bad puns, which I still do and I love. But so I improvised the script instead of reading it. And they just loved it, whatever I did, because I was an improv person after all. So I got the part. And then they said, come up with a look. When they first saw the look, they were like, oh, hello, hold on.
Was it the look?
It was exactly Elvira,
Wow.
Whoa, what's happening? They're coming to get me. But yeah, they were all taken aback a little. They were like, you can't go on TV with that.
Right.
It was too racy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had this slit up to my hip, and then the neckline.
Sure.
And but ratings won out, I guess, and it was a local station, and so I just went on and started doing it. And
so this happened.
I was making $350 a week. I was like, woohoo! But I really didn't think it would last more than, I thought maybe a couple weeks.
Sure. Yeah.
It was just so stupid, and the movies were so bad, and I was such a dork.
So this incredible life change happened concurrently to you getting married.
Yeah.
So,
unfortunately.
Right. So who? So
and turning 30, which is also
turning
a
30,
huge change in one's life. I think.
So, and getting any job when you're a 30-year-old actress back then was like some kind of miracle.
Right. Yeah.
It really
right.
was.
It's like the dancer thing. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, but we were married for 25 years.
Oh, shit.
25
years.
Oh, 25 years.
Well, what did he do? What was his deal?
Well, he managed me, but he didn't.
Did he manage
He wasn't
you?
a manager.
Was he managing you prior to the Elvira gig?
No, because there was nothing to manage.
Right.
Okay.
He got a management partner who actually knew what he was doing. A guy named Eric Gardner who managed Todd Rundgren, who I loved Todd Rundgren back then. They sort of really were able to get the character rolling. One thing they did that was amazing, and my lawyer, who I'm going to see tomorrow night, I meet all these people. I'm friends with them for the rest of my life.
I love that. That's beautiful.
They were able to negotiate me owning the character.
I was
We were
just going to
wondering,
ask about
That
that.
is what changed everything. I mean, I'm just working for this place, getting paid no money. So my TV show became very, very successful. It became the #1 show on KHJ, which is not hard to do, you know. They're making all the revenue.
Yeah.
I'm getting $350 a week. I am writing it. I am acting in it. I am buying the props. Sometimes I'm setting the damn lights. I'm not kidding. I was up there doing everything, and I'm getting this shitty amount of money.
Yeah.
So Mark and Eric actually negotiated. They wouldn't pay me anymore. So they said, well, what about the right to start a fan club? And they said, okay, we'll grant you that right. Next contract period came up. What about the right to sell T-shirts and merchandise? Okay, you can do that.
Oh, that's
And
amazing. Just little by little.
Just chipping away.
yeah.
And one day, the lawyer there looks and goes, she has all the rights.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Just,
Yeah. And I don't feel bad because
No,
I was
no,
paid
no,
nothing.
no,
I was
no, you
like,
should not feel bad.
exactly.
You should absolutely.
I felt totally
That is
fine about
your
that.
creation, of course.
Yeah.
It's not theirs.
So, it's
That's really
so
brilliant.
amazing. How, I mean, I'm one of, Paul and I, Pee Wee, always said we are the members of the world's most elite club. We own our own characters. Every other character in the world, as you know, belongs
unheard
to
of.
the studio.
Yes.
You can't go out and make your own merchandise and sell it. I can make and sell anything, and I do, believe me. And that's really how I made all my income. It's not for my acting gigs, because I never had a series that went or anything like that, or a major movie. I had Mistress of the Dark, which has become a cult classic.
Yes.
But at the
Advertisement
time, it was
too,
a
right?
big... Huh?
There was some advertisement stuff in there too, right?
Yeah.
'Cause I mean,
I
you
did
were-
everything. I worked for Coors, I worked for
We were
Pepsi.
talking. You have been present in our lives for our entire life.
I know, I've been around so damn long.
But it's also like your character is so incredible in its ubiquity. It was you were everywhere, and you were so beloved, obviously.
thank you.
But I remember seeing you on TV.
So we were trying to, we couldn't remember where we discovered you,
yes.
or like
Yeah.
well, and you know, I was telling him on the drive over, you know, my daughter, my 16-year-old daughter, who's been around and known Elijah, is not impressed by anyone, is completely blown away that we're meeting you today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
She was like, oh my
That's
God,
fantastic.
will you get her autograph? You know,
Wow,
so not
that's
only
so
is she
sweet.
aware of your work, it's meaningful. It's meaningful to her.
It's so
It's
funny.
incredible.
I'm so happy to hear that, because my fan base, it did reach a peak like several years ago where I go, my fans are all going to die off. You know, they're
that's
getting
not
so
happening.
damn old.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I don't know, it peaked out and the age has been going down, down, down. Now my major demographics are between like 16 and 24.
It's amazing.
I know, it's weird.
And how-
cool.
And what about like men, women, gays, straight?
Mostly
like, what-
women,
Yeah.
believe it or not. Well, we had
That's awesome.
The numbers done a couple times, like NBC and CBS, when I did projects, and it was about 55% women. And of
That's
course, they have a
amazing.
huge gay following.
Sure. Why is that?
Because I think Elvira is a drag queen,
Right.
essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
People say you're like a drag queen. I go, I am a drag queen.
Yeah.
What's the difference? The only difference is I don't tuck. Exactly. It's true.
That could have been the
Yeah.
name of your book.
That's hilarious.
What time is it, guys?
What time do you have to leave?
I have to leave at 3:30.
It's 4.
Shit.
You have to leave at 3:30.
Yes, can we wrap it up? I've got to be in Westwood at 5.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
No,
That's okay. How much longer are you in LA?
I leave Monday morning.
Monday morning.
Would you want to do something
I
again?
want to talk more.
Do you?
Yeah.
I could do
don't
it.
feel like we got it.
I could do it.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No,
to do
no,
this,
it's
you
okay.
guys.
Thursday morning before I
Thursday
leave.
morning?
That's possible.
It is possible.
Thursday morning works.
Let's do that.
Thursday
And
morning.
we can.
Yeah, where are you staying?
Okay, I'm up. I have this friend from Italy, and she's
Okay.
in Italy right now, so I stay at her house.
Can we come by there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so we'll see you Thursday. Good luck getting across town. Okay, go, run. Thank you. Okay. Thursday morning. Okay.
Oh, there's a buzzer. Oh yeah, hi, it's Elijah and Daniel.
Okay. Wherever you go, there's the flowers.
Always. I think it follows
It does
you.
follow me. Yeah. Hi.
So
thanks for
where-
having us back.
where should we do this?
We're just gonna use these guys.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I was wondering why you guys didn't just have hard mic stands.
We've got all different ways of recording. We're just like our thing is like we don't. The more we want to get as far away from a formal thing as possible.
And the less that people are aware of the fact that they're being recorded.
That's true. You're not like talking. Yeah,
that's why we didn't bring
Okay.
mics today. We're like,
good idea.
yeah, it's fine.
Do you want to do it in here, or is it better at a table?
Yeah.
A table?
Is there a restroom nearby?
No, unfortunately, no restroom. That's the only downside.
It's such a big compromise that there's no bathroom.
Yeah, I know. That's the only downside to this.
What advice do you have for your niece and your daughter in terms of how to navigate the sort of toxic elements of being a woman in this industry?
Oh dear God. Yeah, my daughter I feel okay about because she's in Portland and
Right. Okay.
I feel pretty safe,
Sure.
good about it, and not out there trying to sell her
Sure. Yeah.
physically and stuff.
Yeah.
You know how that goes. I mean, it's horrible. I mean, I don't know how it is now, and I doubt it's that much better. But in the 70s, you'd go in an audition. They'd tell you to take off your top. Oh, you're going to have to, be naked in it. Oh, so take off your top. And then, they'd sit right there and go, oh, your boobs are big enough. They wouldn't say that to me, of course, but to other girls. Oh, you're too flat-chested. You're not attractive enough. I mean, they say it right to your face.
That's so
And
fucked. Yeah.
Your ego was just like, oh, God. And you're always putting yourself alone in a room with some man. And, that. It's, most of the guys were nice, but there were plenty that were not nice. I think it is easier nowadays, but I don't think it's great. And I worry about my niece. I warn her, gotta be careful. Don't go to... Well, I was such a dummy. I mean, I went to an audition 7 p.m. alone in this office building. I was so gullible. I don't know. I was young and I was just stupid. And then, guy stands up from behind a desk. He's not wearing any pants. No. It was for Palmolive. It was a commercial, and I had done the audition earlier, and they told me I had.
Ew.
And it was an ad exec. Yeah, I know. It's go running, screaming, and he goes, "Young," and he literally said, "You'll never work in this town again." He literally said that as I ran down the hall like 100 miles an hour. Yeah.
Well, he couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah, I know. I was so happy with that. I was talking about trying to get an agent right before I got Elvira, right before. And I went to this agent. His name was Edgar Small. But he handled a lot of people and everything. And when I told him I was 29 years old, he was like, 29? Are you crazy? You're never going to get acting work in this town. Are you out of your mind? I mean, in the 70s, if you were turning 30 as a woman.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Hell no. He was just like, go back to Kansas or wherever you get out of here, And what was really amazing was, okay, so I didn't get it. I left there crying. I'd been to agent after agent. Nobody wanted to take me on. And it was like just a few weeks later that I got the part of Elvira, and I'm thinking I would be paying that bastard 20% for the rest of my life. Wow.
Wow.
I missed it by a few weeks.
That's incredible.
Everything's good news in retrospect.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, you look back and you go, oh, thank God
That shitty thing happened, which made it way for
I try and remember that when I think something bad is happening.
Yeah.
We don't know if this is bad yet.
That's true. It's a good way to look at it.
It's true. Oh, I look at everything that way. I mean, I was burned as a child, and I have some scars. I've had tons of surgery and worked on it over the years, trying to get them. Mostly my back and my shoulders are all scarred. So my Elvira dress covers up all the parts of me that have scars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty lucky. But I come to look at that like that. I almost died. I mean, that was a baby. But I struggled so hard having these scars, trying to cover them up because I wanted to be sexy and wear.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I look at that now as like it's one of the best things to ever happen to me. It made me very. I don't know what the word is. like that happened, but I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm just going to.
It fortified you a little bit, yeah.
It did in some weird way. I think it was like a really, like a blessing in disguise. I mean, I didn't die, and there's a lot of people who have burn scars much, much worse than mine. Unfortunately, it didn't get on my face or anything. It was hot boiling water. But I almost come to look at it as like that. It was a character building event.
Sure. So you've made some really big changes in your life in the last number of years, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I divorced my husband.
Yeah.
And
Mr.
then-
Ugh.
Yeah, Mr.
And you were together for 25 years?
Yeah.
25 years.
Isn't that crazy?
That is wild.
I know. The moral there is don't work with your spouse. That's what I think. I mean,
Interesting.
It's funny, I have the opposite.
Do you?
I've only been
Good for
able to
you.
make it work when I work with my spouse.
Really?
Yeah.
I have an opposite inclination too. I like working with.
Well, I work with my partner now, so what am I saying?
Yeah, that's right.
But here's the thing.
I think it's-
he was a guy and he was in control. He was my manager.
That's a different
always telling me
dynamic.
what to do.
That's a
It
very
was.
different dynamic. You're not partners
No,
in this
not
in the
partners.
traditional
He felt
way.
like he was the boss.
Right. Right.
You know, and he was always telling me to do this, don't do this.
Well, and also that dynamic is funny too because you are the one out in front getting all of the attention. I don't know if this was a factor,
it was a
but
big
I
factor.
think
I know
that
what you're
can
saying.
be right. And especially for men, that is a struggle that men tend to have, where if the woman's getting more attention or is the breadwinner or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
that it's some kind of it makes them feel less than or whatever,
Yes. Oh, that was a
which is so
big, big
pathetic and
deal.
ridiculous.
I did everything
You know.
I could to like be in public, and of course everybody would run over to me,
Sure.
Cassandra, and he would just be standing there like this chopped liver, and I would say, "Oh, this is my husband, my manager, Mark Pearson," because they just see you.
Sure.
I'm sure your wife puts up a little bit with that when
It's
Yeah.
it's an element, of course, of
that was always chipping away at his ego.
Right.
And it just became really hard. Then it just became like a butting heads kind of thing, and.
Oh, it's a
Yeah,
shame.
now my partner, T, who she was my trainer for 6 years.
No
and we were
way.
friends. Yeah, she was my trainer at Gold's Gym in Hollywood.
Oh, amazing.
For 6
It was
years.
a physically intimate relationship.
Yeah, well, when we were training, it was his training.
Yeah.
I had no inclination of being together with her. None whatsoever. Everybody's going, did you start, having a relationship with T and then dump your husband? I go, 100% no.
Yeah.
I got out of that relationship with my husband finally, took forever, and then planned on just being alone for the rest of my life. I was happy to never be in a relationship again. And
That's
Yeah.
always when it happens.
yeah, and T was in a relationship.
Yeah.
But I'd seen her at the gym, and before she started training me, I would be on the treadmill following her around the gym because I thought she was this super hot guy. She was a bodybuilder and a trainer. She was a boxer. She went on the road with Mickey Rourke as his sparring partner.
Oh my
Isn't
God,
crazy?
that is wild.
Yeah, as his sparring, and he's a tough boxer. I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was this guy. She'd always had this knit cap pulled down around her eyes and walking through the gym, and the waters would sort of part. Nobody wanted to fuck with her. They really didn't. She was like bench press more than everybody there. They were like, and she'd always looked really tough and mean. And I was like, ooh, bad boys. Yeah, ooh, I love that. And then one day I walk in the girls' restroom and bang, straight into her coming out. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a woman. I had no idea. I thought it was a super hot guy. And then my trainer left. He introduced me to her and said, you should, train with her. She's the best trainer here at the gym. And so we started working together. She was in a relationship. I was in my marriage. And anyway, so after I got divorced, I don't know how long a time went by, but she broke up with her partner and she didn't have a place to live. Her partner kind of kicked her out. And she called and said, is there any way I could stay in your guest room? I had a little like maid's quarters place, just till I find an apartment. And I was like, oh God, T, this is such a bad time. I'm just going through this divorce and,
boy.
taking care of my daughter by myself. I don't have a manager now or a husband, what I mean?
Sure.
My career was just in limbo. And anyway, so she came to stay at the house.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is such bad timing. And she started really hitting it off with my daughter, playing with her all day, taking her to school for me, helping out with cooking.
Yeah.
And it was just like, God, this is so great to have somebody here. helping me. And she stayed there for a few months, and I don't know what happened. We ended up getting in a relationship. I never saw it coming. I swear to God.
Wow.
It's like blindsided.
Do you remember the moment that it entered your mind?
I had a few moments where it entered my mind. I started going, this is weird. And I'm going, but I'm not gay. This is not happening. This is
Interesting.
Yeah. And I kept, and I kind of put her through hell for the next year or two when I'm going, this isn't working out because I'm not gay. So it's not working out.
She's like,
I like
you are
men.
now, baby.
I like men. And I'm still attracted to men. I mean, I walk down the street. She loves when a hot guy walks by. My head snaps. And I can't help it. It's just in my DNA. But, women are more fluid. I don't think it's a big deal. And it's about, she's 10
Of course, it's not a big
younger than me,
deal.
but
I mean, it's who you love,
Yeah, it's who you fall in love with. And I don't see other women that I think are it's not like I see hot chicks and I go, wow, look at those boobs, I do not do that. I don't know. I'm not interested in other women. So it's just her. I had gone to see the Groundlings and seen Paul and John and Phil and was just blown away.
Yeah.
And was like, I got to be a part of this. I've got to get in there. And then just over the years, Paul and I just always remained friends. I don't know. We went to a lot of things together, the Golden Globes, the Grammys, things like that together. And more recently, my favorite thing was with Paul was he'd always call me late at night, which always pissed me off. It'd always be like I'd just be getting in bed and it would be Paul. And I know I didn't have to answer, but he didn't, he didn't call me that often. So it's like, I need to talk to him. I'd always pick up, hi, Pee-wee. I call him Pee-wee, he called me Elvira. That is how we addressed each
Oh
other.
my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'd go, hi, Pee-wee, and he'd go, oh, hello, yeah, I just called, what are you doing? I go, I'm in bed, it's too late to talk. I don't think I want to. I could talk right now, and he'd go, no, I just have this one little this story. It won't take more than an hour. Let me just start telling.
It won't take more than an hour.
Yeah. And then he'd always start it with that, and he goes, I don't know if you know, but I was born in Sarasota, Florida, and he'd start like his life story. I go, oh, seriously, I've got to get off the phone. I'm falling asleep, and then like an hour later, I would be laughing so hard. We'd be laughing, we'd be crying.
Oh.
It usually was on FaceTime.
Yeah.
And I was in bed, he was in bed, and we were just crying. We were laughing so much. He did that to me all the time. I love that. I really miss that part.
Yeah.
He was a great friend to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But he FaceTimed me the day he died. The day he died. He knew he was dying. Well, for 3 days he knew. And I had known he was sick for several years. It'd been like 4.5, 5 years. So he didn't let people know, which was really brave of him. Really strong. But he'd been sick, he'd get well. He'd been sick, he'd get well. They'd kind of cure whatever he had. And then it finally was just, there was nothing else to do. When he first called me, a couple days before, he said, I got to tell you, at first I said, Paul, I can't talk right now. I'm on my way out the door. I can't talk. And he's going, well, no, listen, I've got to tell you something that's really important. And I go, well, make it snappy. And he said, I'm dying. I was going, oh, really? That's funny. Paul, seriously, I've got to go. And he goes, no, I'm serious. I'm dying. I'm not going to make it. I go, I just, oh my God, I almost collapsed. I just fell down. I didn't believe it. And we talked, and I go, you've got to be kidding me. And I said, I'm coming down there. He said, no, you won't make it. That's the first day.
Yeah.
And he handed the phone to some person, a nurse or doctor or something.
Yeah.
And they said, I don't really think it's worth you getting on the plane. We're in the final countdown.
Yeah.
And
he still made it another 3 days or 2 days after that. It's wild. Yeah.
He FaceTimed me, and he actually made a joke. I had begged him for 3 days. Paul, I'm coming. I was up in Portland. I'm coming down to LA to see you. I'm coming right now. You can't talk me out of it. And he goes, no, don't. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it in time. And I said, what am I supposed to do? And he said, come and see me at Hollywood Forever, Space 21. And I went, please tell me you're not making a joke. And he goes, that was a joke. I mean, this is literally hours before he passed away.
Wow.
And he was still joking, and we still had a good conversation. He still looked good, and he said he wasn't in any pain, and he had his assistant who worked for him for years and years there with him, and it was...
Wow.
But it was shocking. I mean, I knew he had been sick, but I just thought he was going to live forever. He's like Santa Claus or something, you know?
Yes.
It's like, you're not going to die.
I know, he was that kind of person, right?
Yeah. People, everybody who knows him, and there's so many celebrities, and people just love him. And his memorial was, so, whew,
Oh,
really
I can imagine.
Really hard, you know?
Yeah.
How do you end a call like that?
Oh, it was horrible. I just was like, I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm crying, I'm sobbing, and, you know. Then I was texting him, I love you, Paul, please say this is not true. But, yeah, it was really hard. I mean, I just didn't believe it. And I was sorry I hadn't gone.
Oh, well.
You know.
Yeah.
But he was saying, no, don't.
Oh, you can't. In those scenarios, you cannot blame yourself.
Yeah, no, I know. I was, for some reason, I was
know.
going, why didn't I just go? Why didn't I just get on the thing and go? Anyway, it's sad. It's sad without him around. You know, all
Yeah.
his friends like really miss him. What's that noise?
Of course.
Yeah.
I think that's yard work, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Sorry,
What
guys.
we can do about it.
That's all right.
Anyway, it was sad. It's sad to, not have him in my life. It was hard with John Paragon and with Phil. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody expected
Yeah.
that. So anyway, and the last amigo.
How would you describe what mark you are leaving on this world?
Wow. I always say that on my gravestone, I want them to put, I was more than just a great set of boobs. Also a fantastic pair of legs. So maybe that's it. I don't know. But I think I've become synonymous with a holiday. So
Sure.
I kind of think, even when I'm not here anymore, I'd like to think that the image of Elvira will live on without me.
Yes.
I don't need to be around. I think I've become a little bit like Santa Claus. Sure. Now, I don't know if that's a great thing, but I think it makes a lot of people happy.
Absolutely.
They think it's funny. They like the image. It's kind of comforting. They've had it since their childhood.
Sure.
And yeah, that's probably the mark. You know, I would leave. Also, that women, I hope they would see. You have to go through a lot, but you can be strong. Yeah. You can finally do it. Doesn't matter how old you are, if you have scars, if you
Yes.
Have had a lot of sexual harassment and stuff, which over time that breaks you down.
Yeah.
But you can keep forging ahead and you can keep making it.
What are your favorite bands?
Oh God, they change every day. I'm listening to KCRW, so I'm always like into things that are coming out, like Bad, Not Good.
Oh yes. Okay, you're current.
Yeah, well, I tried to, but most of
Bad
it.
Not Good scores this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. So
You're kidding me.
No. So I'm a fan of their work, and we've never met in person. But anyway, we were
I'm a big
thinking.
fan.
I will.
Are you?
Well, they'll hear this. When we were thinking about music for the show, it just occurred to me that we would be a great fit, and just love their. I mean, they're all jazz trained.
Yeah, because they're so damn good.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's so awesome.
Okay, wait. I have to ask you to sign this. I'll give it
Yeah,
to my
yeah,
daughter.
I was just saying.
Yeah, you made
So
me
lovely.
promise I would get your autograph.
See, I usually sign it. I'll show you right.
But she's loose.
Okay, with an I or Y? Y. Okay.
Signature too.
Yeah.
I don't normally get things signed, but
Okay, making sure. ELIJAH.
yeah.
Is this the first time you've ever asked for an autograph?
It's one of like a handful, honestly. I don't ask for autographs ever. Thank
Yeah,
you
no,
so
I don't
much.
really either, but I have a few people who I really.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Executive producers of Visitations are Elijah Wood and me, Daniel Noah. Our producers are Stephen Demler, Lawrence Ingley, Nick Parlin, and Mike Risley. The show is edited and mixed by Graham Resnick. Our music is by Bad Bad Not Good. Artwork by Jay Shaw and JJ Harrison. And our network director is Jim Perry. Leaf Blower brought to you by The Steel Company, polluting our air and sound waves since 1926. Visitations is a production of Spectre Vision Radio.
Good night and unpleasant dreams.